Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming back this week. I am Kimberly Clemens, your host of Chats and Chuckles. I bring to life the chatter that matter. Thank you so much for coming. This is the day that the Lord has made, and as you see, I am rejoicing. I am so glad to be here, y'all. I am so grateful to be a part of the WHPR TV family. Thank you so much for this opportunity to RJ Watkins. I want to also give a shout out today to my good friend Darwin Griffin. Thank you so much. This has truly been a really big deal for me this year. But today, like no other, I want to say that I have a special guest here today. And we are going to get started because this young lady, she has so much going on in her life. She's a very interesting woman. I'm so glad that God allowed us to cross paths. So we're going to get to the introduction of my good friend, my good friend, Stacy Johnson.
Hey, good morning. I am so blessed to be here. I am.
I am too, Stacy. I'm so glad you made it.
A long story, huh? You know, you are one of my favorite people. You are.
Oh, I appreciate
you're one
that.
of my favorite people. I love you, and I just like, myself. We're just very busy, but we're busy with a purpose and with intentionality and everything. And so I just love, the things that God has called you to do. So
thank you.
blessed to be here. Yeah.
Now, we're not going to let our guests come in and make it all about me. We're going to chat today about you.
Yeah.
So let's start with just telling the people who you are.
Okay, Stacy Shannon Johnson. That's where
she acting all shy, y'all. Look.
A lot of people know me as Stacy Shannon Johnson. A mother, wife, my husband, wife for 30 years.
Absolutely.
And then first wife, and then mother of two teens, and I can't believe they're graduating high school in June, and so
you know what? You just made me think.
Yeah.
How old were they when we met? They were little.
They might have been toddlers.
They
don't know.
They were little,
yeah,
Stacy.
Time waits for nobody. Time waits for no one.
Yeah.
So I'm retired law enforcement, and
wait a minute, we're gonna give our kids a little more shine than that.
We'll go because I was gonna break down the bio.
I know, and the kids are always happy when I get on live TV.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna give them a shout out because they really are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Young
I
people.
remember you were their youth minister. Just thinking back. Yeah, let's go back a little bit. Yes. They are amazing. I'm always cognizant of time, but they are. They are the love of our lives. They really are.
Two superstars. They really are superstars.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Praise
amazing
God.
young
Praise
people.
God. Yep.
I had the pleasure of employing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yes. Autumn. Yes. I forgot about that. Yeah. Autumn worked with you. And Joel followed in Xavier's footsteps. And they attended, because that was your wisdom was one of the mitigating factors of how he ended up where he, his high school. And then we just didn't know how he would be tremendously blessed being there. And so you have a lot to do with that. Yeah.
Well, God is good.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
one thing I know about, our children is they not only are a blessing, but where they are, there are people who really did look out for them, people who really poured into them, people who really cared about them. So it's definitely, something to be proud of.
Amen.
And he shined, just like Xavier. He shined, in his own talents. His own work. He did the work. He put in the time. He did what he was supposed to do.
He did academically, and then we didn't know because he's so tall, he's 6'3". We thought he would be a basketball player, but God had some other plans. And just as a fluke, my husband told him to run track to stay in shape. and he's been to all state all 4 years of his.
Look at that.
Well, he's going into senior,
A
but
fluke.
he just was all state for cross country. But
That's why I say we're not gonna run past these kids now.
Right. So we are truly blessed, and now that they're going to embark on another season of their life for college, they've been accepted together. I mean, probably over 30 colleges. So the thing is now is just praying and asking God to guide them and lead them the best college, the best roommate, the best coach for him. And Autumn pretty much has it narrowed down to Wayne State. That's
because we girls,
yeah.
we usually will.
Yeah, she already knows. I'm going to get my bachelor's and my master's, and she's going to major in business. But Joel,
that is good.
Yeah, we still have a lot of a lot of work to do in that area. So
that's cool. Watching them grow up, those different stages of those young people. Yeah. I mean, it's really been a pleasure for me to be able to be a part of their lives. But just watching how you and your husband, raised them and you noticed them and you, really poured into them the word of God. Yeah. And they took it and they used the word for the things that they were involved in. So I really did appreciate that.
Amen.
Yeah, so great kids. I could talk about them for the rest of the show, right?
Thank you. We're blessed. We are so blessed. We are. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's get back to you. So you mother, wife, how many years you and Joel been married?
It'll be 31 in July of 26.
Wow.
It'll be 31 years, so yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Amen.
Because a lot of people don't make it.
I married my best friend. I did. I married my best friend. And it has just been a blessing. It has. We tell each other that all the time, like, wow, man.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but when you marry who God wants you to marry, it's not perfect. Many trials and tribulations, but not many, but, we had some challenges. But man, when you do marry within God's will, it just that grace, that love, that friendship, that bond, it's amazing. And I admire you and your husband. I mean, because we've been through quite a bit, and when our husbands have our back, it is just
Oh yeah.
There's
Absolutely.
nothing we can't conquer, nothing we can't do. And when you work as a team, when you work as a team. Yeah.
And we had to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because I think I wanted to be the boss.
Oh.
Somewhere down, when we first got married. But I've learned.
I remember when I was a police officer one day, and I came home and I was barking an order. He said, I'm not.
Say wrong place.
Take that hat off. Leave it in your locker.
So you said retired police.
Retired law enforcement, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, retired from Inkster Police Department.
Inkster,
yeah,
okay.
Inkster, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. Now, how long did you do that?
Good question. Not as long as I wanted to, because I broke my hand really bad in the line of duty. So I had to retire early than I wanted to. So, and I started off at the Wayne County Sheriff's Department. So a lot of people don't know
Stacey,
that. I started off
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you started as a sheriff. Wow.
Yeah, I started in jail. Then Inkster put me through the police academy, and I was blessed. I absolutely loved every aspect of what I did.
So was that something that you always wanted to do? Did you follow in the footsteps of someone in your family?
It wasn't something that I always wanted to do, but I think around maybe 20 years old, I was, some Detroit Police Department had approached me about joining, and at that time I didn't have the right temperament. I had a
clear that throat.
Excuse me, I had a temper, and that's not good. My dad was like, mm-mm. But as I matured, fast forward 10 years later, I was ready to.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes there are things that God has for us, but maybe the timing is off. So you had to go through some growth. I did.
Before you joined the department.
Growth and humility, because I think if you're not humble when you get in that position, you can do a lot of damage. We have we make decisions with people's lives. And I think people do. I mean, we know that everybody's not going to be spirit-led. Oh, thank you. We know that everyone is not going to be, spirit-led. But, you just pray that people, have the right heart and have the right mindset in that profession, because we make decisions that affect people's lives, from driving to arrest to whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when you decided to do that, were you married?
I was married. My husband, definitely, that was important to get his blessing. And believe it or not, even though I was married, my husband's my covering. But my dad, for whatever reason, I don't know what, I am a daddy's girl. And so my dad's gone now to be with the Lord, but I am a bona fide daddy's girl. But for whatever reason, I felt like I needed my dad's blessing. And I want, maybe I need to see a therapist to understand that part. But
I mean, well, hey,
'cause when
being a daddy's girl, you definitely wanted him to be okay with that profession, because there
Yeah.
is a lot of danger that's
is,
involved
yeah.
and uncertainty,
Right.
going in and coming back home. So that's understandable.
Yeah. He knew I was a little different. I rode a motorcycle, and I was kind of just really gutsy about a lot of things. So he knew that aspect of me. But we had a long talk, and not only he was my dad, but we were just really good friends. And when you become an adult, because you're not going to be their friend when you're younger, but we would go out breakfast. That was our thing. We went to breakfast often, once a week. And I said, Dad, I need to sit down and talk to you. And we had a talk. And he said, "You're going to do fine." I said,
Oh,
"Thank
that's
you, Dad."
good.
Yeah.
And
so-
you did just fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Did just
Amen.
fine.
Amen.
So
Yeah,
that getting hurt caused you to retire
It
early.
did. In the way every department is set up different. Inkster is a very small department, and very, very small department in comparison to larger cities like Detroit.
Like Detroit,
And
right.
so there was something in the union contract that if you cannot go back to duty, if you've been injured in the line of duty, and you cannot return back to, they don't make a provision for you to like sit on the desk or anything like that. Where other
okay.
departments, that wouldn't be an issue, because there are a lot of positions, but with Inkster that you can't override a union contract.
So it was just time for you to go.
I had to retire. Yeah,
And that probably was difficult.
it was. It took me 9 months to a year. Yeah, I wanted to be chief of police. So yeah,
You had big
I had big
dreams.
dreams. I did. I loved it. So I did more community relations type work. That was I love engaging with people. So I did a lot
So
more.
DPD would call those officers NPOs.
NPOs, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was your role.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, worked in the schools. I did DARE and worked out, and I spoke all over in different schools and assemblies, and excuse me, engaged with the community if there was an issue or training or whatever, any kind of issues that needed, that the community would come up, and so I loved every part of it. But then, excuse me. He did give me some water. But then also, I wanted to continually stay proficient in that job. So you have to be out and you have to have that experience. So I did spend the summers a lot of time just learning. And before I retired, I came out of there to go back on road patrol so that I could promote, because it's very difficult to promote when you don't have a lot of road experience. So you do need that road, and you get that with taking runs and experiences.
Do you
Yeah.
miss it, Stacy?
I did. I used to. That first year was very, very difficult. My mother used to watch some kind of cop show and think the women at Dallas or Memphis or something. And Mama, oh, they're so beautiful. And the ladies, they remind me of you. And I did not want to hear about that. I did not want to.
Oh, so you couldn't watch
I
the
couldn't
shows?
watch it. Not for about a good year. Yeah,
Okay.
I couldn't. Because it was just too when your career ends, it's you lower that into the ground. That literally the coffin is closed on your
So
career.
it's like a death.
It is. It is. It is. So there's that grieving period. I became a stay-at-home mom during that time. And I'm still pretty much. I work full-time. I don't have a full-time job. But my commitment was to the children. Now, they were about 3 or 4. And
Okay, they
so,
were small.
hmm
Were there
so
a lot of women on the force with you?
in Inkster, starting off, there might have been three of us,
Okay.
and I was the only African American. And then there were more.
Wow.
Yes,
In
starting off.
Inkster?
Now I wasn't the first, but at that
Mm-hmm.
time I was the only one. And then before I retired, there might have been maybe two or three. But one of the young ladies that I worked with, she's now the chief of police. She's doing an incredible job.
She's
She
the chief
is.
of police
Yeah,
in
in
Inkster?
Inkster, yes,
Wow.
yes, she is amazing. Yes,
Congratulations to
yes,
her.
yes, Chief Jenkins. So yes, so but yeah, at that time I wasn't the only woman. Women, we were pretty. I'm quite sure. You know, at that time we were very tight knit because it was just a few of us, and they normally would put you on a shift, so we didn't see. We would see each other in passing, but maybe someone worked mornings, afternoons, or midnight. So that's how it was pretty much, where you didn't see the other person quite a bit. You know, you would see each other in passing, but yeah. I
Okay.
had a female training officer, and she was incredible. Yeah,
Wow.
she's in Ann Arbor now. If she hasn't retired, I don't think she's retired yet. She's a K-9
Still serving.
officer in Ann Arbor. Yeah, we still
Okay.
keep in touch. Yeah.
So, how's your hand?
It is fine. Of course, when the weather changes, I can feel it. I know when it's going to snow or storm or
Oh,
something.
that's that
But
old
yeah.
old time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
if we want to know the weather, you
Yeah,
call
just call me,
Stacy because
call
she
me.
can tell you if it's going to snow by that hand.
Right. Yeah. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you know what? I learned something new. So I didn't know you rode motorcycles.
I did. I had a Honda Shadow 600
What?
VLX.
You hear that, Randall
Yeah.
Clemens? I begged my husband for a bike, but he's still in the no phase.
I want another one, but things are different now. And that was 20 years ago, and that was before I had children. I've had some interesting
Stacy,
brushes
you
with
look,
people.
you're not making this good for me right now.
Yeah.
Stacy,
I'm
can
sorry. Let me be quiet. Yeah.
but Stacy, do you desire to ride now?
I do. I did, but things are different now. People
Yeah, they're
drive
different.
differently.
They do.
They do.
They
Totally
do.
different.
But you
And
can
so-
get out there when it's, a little more safe.
Yeah.
You
That's-
can go places
Yeah.
where there's, bikers
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
you say no, but no.
Yeah.
Put in a good word for
I got-
me
I
then,
got-
Stacy, please.
Right.
Oh, that is so good though. Riding is something that I've always desired to do. And whenever I meet a woman that
Yeah.
does it,
Yeah.
they always say, that it is about safety though.
It is freedom out there, and it's so many women out. Way more women are riding now than it was back when I was riding. And there's a lot of
Yeah.
women, but now we're flooding that arena. So it is when I see a woman, I just really like, hey, I love it. I love to see women out there. It's so much. It's exhilarating to be out there on your bike. It's just freedom. Everything just even smells different. The ride is totally different, of course.
Yeah.
When you're out there, it's a beautiful thing. It is.
Oh, I
Yeah,
believe
I'll
it.
say this.
And I
Yeah.
do. I want a bike so bad.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be patient.
Yeah.
I'm going to definitely be patient. So, Stacy, after, longing for that, that time as an officer, knowing that, okay, this is it. You said that you became a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
That transition, I know, was difficult for
It
you.
was very.
But how do you feel now? Like, even though, like you said, even though now you're still practically a stay-at-home mom, like taking pride in knowing that you were there, for your children. Do you see that is something that should be kind of focused on today for people
I'm about
who
to get
come
in
out
trouble. I tell you what, seeing my children in their accomplishments and their character, I know that it was not done in vain,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it pays off. It does. It does pay off. Seeing
Yeah.
and there's so many. They're blessed when you go to the schools and the staff.
Yeah, because you're
right.
able to spend more time. I know when I got a chance to homeschool my children, I did learn who they are. Trying to work, raise the family, be a wife. I mean, we do it, but there are benefits.
There's a bond. Yeah.
Yeah, there are benefits when you get the opportunity to really focus and hone in on some of those things.
Yeah.
Like, did you find that financially
Oh, yeah. Well,
a challenge? You know, I know it's good, you know, with the bonding, but financially, what was that a huge challenge?
somewhat, a little bit, because when you retire, you get a pension from, so
Right.
you get I had received like a portion of what I made, so it sustained me. And I have a husband, so that helps out, and a very understanding, wonderful provider. My husband, so I was able to, have a vehicle and things like that, and buy things if I needed to, if I wanted to travel or whatever. It wasn't luxurious, or wasn't like what I was making for the police department. But yes, of course, I wanted to do a little bit more, but my mother, we were raised by a single mom, learned how to sacrifice and learn how to manage money and sacrifice. So
Yeah, and just knowing who you are, you're very devoted, to your family.
Yeah.
Very devoted,
Thank you.
and I really admire that.
Oh, wow.
You
Thank
know
you.
about you and how you made a lot of sacrifices, and poured yourself into, learning who your children are, too, and then being there as a wife, like I see the success, in that and all that you have done with that. And there is fruit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, thank you. And when we're in the throes of it, so we don't quite, we know we're not going, to get them out of trouble, things like that, thank God, but we don't really see it. Other people have to kind of tell us, this, that, and the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
You're living it, you're in
we
it, you're
don't
doing
see
what
it.
you need to do, have to do, the supposed to do, all of that good stuff.
There's been a day when I was like, you know what, I'm about to put you out so you can go live with your coach, but nothing big. Nothing big, but no, I'm teasing. But,
Those are good moments, though, like when they become
like,
adults, they can laugh back on, look back on that stuff and laugh.
Yes, when I'm at the school and they're saying things about the kids and like, really, I admire you, Mom, and I'm like, a lot of tears and a lot of prayers.
Yeah.
I tell everybody that when it comes to raising children, because we've had our set of challenges, a lot of tears and a lot of prayers.
And that's
But
honest.
we get through it. Yeah.
Yeah,
we've
that's
gotten through
honest.
it. Yep.
And having other families, that you could talk with. I know we talked a lot, during the years of raising our children, and not comparing the children. One child may be into this, the other child may be into that. And you have to appreciate, who those children are. I thank you for sharing that. We're going to come back with our guests. I want you to go and grab your coffee and your tea, and we're going to learn a little bit more about our special guest today, Stacey Johnson. So please come back.
Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. If you're behind on your property taxes, we have programs to help. You don't have to lose your house, and you don't have to pay all at once. This summer, our mobile unit will be visiting Wayne County communities to help make it easier to start a payment plan and keep your property. Go online or call to find the plan that's right for you and where you can get help from our mobile unit. The last thing I want is for anyone to lose their property to foreclosure. Make your payments every month and keep your property.
Hey, Hey, I'm the new girl at WHPR, Kimberly Clemens, the host of Chats and Chuckles. Tune in on Tuesdays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Chats and Chuckles. I am here to bring life to the chatter that matters.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Mattered. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
Watkins Broadcasting is going worldwide. Now you can watch Detroit's own WHPR on your TV from anywhere in the world. No matter where you are, you can stay in the know with WHPR TV and Roku. You can get your easy-to-install Roku box from wherever you shop for your entertainment gear. Once your Roku box is connected to your TV and internet, go to the channel store on the home menu of the Roku box. Enter WHPR TV in the search engine and add it to your channels. That's it. That's all you need to get the best in entertainment, news, and talk, no matter where you are. Roku brings all of your favorites to your TV. Netflix, Hulu Plus, Crackle, HBO Go, and now WHPR TV, Detroit Live.
Maureen Jackson thought she had it all until she was faced with the challenges of raising an autistic child. Inspired by autism is her brutally honest journey filled with heartbreak and triumph. Get your copy and find the support you deserve today by visiting www.claudinejackson.tv.
313watkins.com. Streaming on Roku.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for returning. I'm so excited, y'all. The music to the show. I got to give a shout out to my son-in-law, Darius Quince. Incredibeats is his company, and Stacy was just telling me how she loves the music. I love it too, y'all. But now we're back with my special guest, Stacy J. Now, Stacy J, y'all, now we've learned that she's a mom, she's a wife, she's retired, and she's got hurt, all that good stuff. But Stacy J didn't just sit around doing nothing. Stacy J learned her talents and her gifts, and she decided to use them. She decided to believe in herself. She decided to take a leap of faith. And that's another thing that I love about you, Stacy. When I learned, the things that you were doing in the community, and the reason why that you were doing it, I know one of the things I want you to talk about is your heart for human trafficking awareness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. It started off as a play back in 2008. I believe 2018 it started off as a play, or 2017 began to spend about 9 months to a year researching about human trafficking. But that's something that God had put on my heart. I didn't just come out. He wanted me to focus on human trafficking. So when I spent that time researching before I wrote the script, I learned a lot. I was just heavily touched by that research and impacted. And we did the play in December, then a few months later in April.
So you started with a desire. You said God gave you that desire.
Put a heaviness on my heart to I was compelled to write the play, to focus, because we'll deal with different things like juvenile delinquency, Alzheimer's, and so God put a heaviness on my heart to write about human trafficking.
Okay, so Stacy is a playwright.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you had been writing plays and putting those out in the community
Yes.
for some time.
Yes.
And you had already had some plays going. Give me some of those names of those plays.
So, Who Are You is about a woman, a family dealing with Alzheimer's. And who are you is one of the most commonly asked questions of people that are going through Alzheimer's. So we went from diagnosis or from symptoms until her demise. And so that was a powerful play. I love that play. It was a wonderful play.
Wow.
Yeah. And then let's see, where do we go back? That's sad that I can't remember all of the names.
So, Stacey, is it that many plays? Like you've written so many
We've had quite a few.
plays,
Yeah.
and you've done those in the community in Detroit.
Detroit, well, or in Inkster. So Inkster truly had my back. In Inkster, we would do them at Robichaud High School.
So
Yes.
that's where I've gone to see some
Yeah.
of your plays.
Right. So we had funding and sponsorship and everything, and so the support and again, I don't know if you mentioned it earlier, or I might have been listening to it on the way over here. But when we sow seeds, we reap a harvest.
Yeah.
And when we pour into people, when you sow certain seed in that ground, that good ground, it comes back, and it can come back to bite you in a good way or a bad way. Thank God we were blessed because so many people in the community remembered and wanted to support. And so we would have like over 1,000 people there, sometimes 1,500 people at the shows. We would have to do 2 shows.
Oh,
So,
I remember
yes.
that. I remember
Yeah.
coming to a show, and before we could even get in there, it was, the buzz in the air, people wanted tickets, couldn't get tickets, calling, do you have extra tickets?
Yeah.
So the plays that you make, they always have a message
Yes.
around what's happening in families or happening in the community.
Right. And I know a lot of it came from law enforcement because when I would go to certain runs, I'm not going to get into the logistics of the runs, but certain runs that would be traumatizing. I knew writing, I would write poetry to process it because you see some things you cannot unsee.
Right.
You see the devil's handiwork.
So a lot of the things that you went through as an officer,
Yes.
you would take that experience and you would make it into something that would help
Yeah.
the people in the community.
Right. And a lot of it is sounding the alarm.
Which is
So
the name.
Right. So sounding the alarm is a moniker that I use often when I speak or when I may speak about or promote something on social media. But it's just a warning to people because you see so much and you want to protect. So I always say that I'm serving and protecting, but in a different space. So not so much in uniform, but with my pen.
Yeah,
Yes.
and just being who you are, wanting to keep people safe and
Yes.
give them information. I know that human trafficking piece, during the time where God had inspired you to write that, that was during the time where it was being brought to the community to be aware.
Yes.
And what you brought, I thought was really amazing. I took your class.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
Okay, it's been-
yep. Because
yeah.
you do that in the community. You
Right.
teach.
Oh, yeah, at the
you
church,
bring the
yeah.
awareness,
Right,
and
yeah.
you taught us the signs to look out for. You taught us how to handle people that have encountered human trafficking, and then you made us be aware of how important it is
Right.
just to be aware.
Correct. I tell you another thing is that a lot of people, when I'm in schools, a lot of teenagers think, and even adults think, that someone is out there kidnapping our children in a white van, and that is not true. That's just this urban myth where maybe 2% of people are kidnapped for trafficking. People are kidnapped every day, but people not for trafficking, maybe 2%. 98% of the people that are trafficked by somebody that they know, and about 42 or 46% of children that are trafficked, they're trafficked by loved ones, by their family.
Yeah, I know that was one of the things that really those of us that were in that class, you know, we were, you know, like the people, you know, and it's just like those statistics, you know, when people deal with domestic violence, you know. So learning that, I think everybody should take the class.
Thank you.
Whenever I learn something, you know, I think people should know, because what I did learn is that there is no class of people that it only happens
It's from Rochester Hills to Detroit to Southgate to it's just reported, and it's going on all over the world, but in every state of this country, whether it's up north in the UP or down here in the Lower Peninsula, trafficking is occurring.
It's not a particular culture.
No. It crosses all social, economic, and racial boundaries. Yes.
Yeah, I think, you know, people should know that. Another thing that I learned in your class is the times, the high peak times when human trafficking really goes on, is during those highly publicized like games.
Yeah, auto show or NBA playoffs or
events, not just games,
it could be
events.
Super Bowl, big, really big time, and you will start to see a lot of the NFL. They're getting more involved and to speak about it and talk about it. When I think we had the NFL draft here a couple of years ago, and the news did a lot of coverage on that and a lot of training, especially for people in the service industry that work in hotels. And and you know, the things that you're writing about is very helpful. Thank you.
You know, very, very helpful. I know that the information in those classes very helpful. You and I went up to, where did we go? Flint.
Oh yeah, we did go to Flint.
We went to Flint.
Yes, we did. I forgot about that. The Ghost team.
Yeah.
Oh yes, they're doing some great things.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, bringing that awareness to just everyday people.
Yeah. And recently, I was asked to sit on the board of Haven Homes of Detroit. So that's another, they educate people, but also they provide an 18-month program for people coming out of trafficking, and they help them establish their lives and get back on their feet. So it's an 18-month residency program. I love everything about this organization.
That's Haven
Homes of Detroit, and we're going to have a big gala in February. So I've been asked to come aboard and be on the board. So I'm really looking forward to that, to working with them in that aspect. Yeah.
I like that your plays are for youth and adults.
Yes. I think in the inception of everything, I've always worked with youth, and my heart was always coming from that posture. How can we reach youth? I'm working on a script now about a movie dealing with fentanyl. And everything, I think, except for the Alzheimer's, and still a young adult played a large role in that. But I think I do have a heart for youth, and a lot of the, some of the motive in my writing is to, again, protect and serve. Just to protect
and
young
serve.
people.
Still doing it.
But just doing it from a different space, yes.
Yeah. That's really cool. So now how can people be a part of the plays that you write?
My website is Stacey, STACEYJ. I have two, Productions, LLC. Stacey J Productions with an S on the end.com. Or if anybody's interested in human trafficking education or class, it's Stacey, STACEYJ Consulting. LLC.com. So we got a couple of websites where people can get in touch with me, yes.
And the work that you do is so important. I also love how DPSCD has linked up. You've partnered, and you've brought that information, especially about human trafficking, to the schools.
Yeah, we brought the play in as well, Dream Deferred. So
Dream
that was
Deferred.
A few years ago. Yeah, we were able to bring that in the school district and do quite a bit of classes, and also for the younger children, online safety, because that is a gateway into trafficking, but online safety, because in schools you have to deal with children on. They could be grooming online. There are over 750,000 groomers online, and so we have to deal with that. And that's how they meet traffickers, is online. But also dealing with nude pics and videos, because it is against the law, and a lot of children get baited into that.
I say great
sex
job
torture, so many
to
things to
the
cover.
school board and the school for seeing how important that is.
Yes.
And you got to go where the children are.
Yes, you do.
You know, sometimes it's hard to get into the homes of the families to get that information to them, you know, whether they're dealing with it or think it's not important or it won't happen in my community. It is extremely important that you are aware.
Right. Or definitely in the church. And it's very important that we get into the churches, because you take it to the village, and then grandma, auntie, mama, they're going to have a discussion when they get home. They're going to make sure they're having those conversations.
And
with
you
their
did.
children,
The church did open their doors up for you to be
but
able to go.
We need to get in more churches. We need to get into more community.
So y'all hear
centers.
that?
So we do.
If you're the viewers, you know, if you attend a church, this is something that you could definitely talk with your pastor, your bishop, you know, talk with the clergy, and especially the youth ministry. You know, to me, the youth ministry is a great place where you can start giving them that information that they're going to encounter when they get out of church.
I'm usually bought in when there's an issue, but I think we need to be proactive instead of reactive, because usually I'm bought in when a kid has been approached or gotten caught up in some things. That's usually when things are at 10, but let's get it before it even gets there. So
absolutely. So shout out again to DPSCD, because I mean, that's a lot of students that could get that information and stay safe.
Right.
You know, have a chance to live, you know, that I think that's so important. Now, what's the age group that someone can take your class?
I would go with human trafficking. Would be middle school.
Middle school.
Yeah, but for online safety, that needs to begin as young as pre-K and kindergarten.
Pre-K?
Yeah, I have taught classes as young as pre-K and kindergarten, and of course it's not going to be as long.
Of course not.
There's a way to implement that messaging about online safety, and a lot of it is through photos. And you have, you know, photos. And what's very important is that when young people are using phones or a computer or tablet, it needs to be in an area where people are, there's movement around with adults and older people, versus being isolated in a room. Because if a child is talking to someone and they're isolated in a bedroom, you know, nefarious activities can come up. But if somebody is FaceTiming, or if a child is in a room or in the living room, they're not going to engage in anything inappropriate.
Right, and they'll hop off.
Right, because somebody, they're gonna, the bad guy's going to say, you know, or a lady is going to say, well, where are you? Who's around? And so, that's important that they use phones and tablets and computers in the living room.
And just reminding your children, you know, that the parent does have the authority, you know, to make the decision of who you're talking to on the phone, and bringing that awareness, you know, to the children of how important it is not to give your personal information out.
You know, we had a situation yesterday. My aunt lives in Memphis. She doesn't have a cell phone, and she has one, but she doesn't know how to, you know, access pictures. And she was babysitting her great grandson, and he's in elementary school, and I said, I want to show you something, and I said, she said her grandson wasn't there, but her great-grandson, she was babysitting him. I said, I'll just send the pictures to his phone. And I said, sweetheart, what's your phone number? He said, I'm going to have to block you. I don't see him often. You know, they're in a different city, but he knows who I am. He said, I'm going to have to block you afterwards, because my mom is... And I mean, he was so
good.
good, and I loved it because they have talked to him about the importance of online safety. And I love this kid. And I said, "Well, can
That
I?"
is so
He
good.
did not want me to send his great grandmother that picture on his phone because he said my mom's going to ask about this number. And I told them, y'all make sure y'all talk to his mom about me sending that picture. It was just something that I had designed, but. I love that he's been
education.
educated. He has.
Education,
And he's
and
smart
we
enough
can't
to
be afraid
Right.
to let our children know about the dangers that are out there.
And he was very adamant. Even though I am a family member, a trusted family member, he was very, very. Cause
Now, how
he doesn't
powerful
see
is
me
that?
often, so he was very adamant that
Yeah,
this is not a good idea, and I love that.
And the thing
Yeah.
is, you know, even with family, like you have to be very cautious because a lot of stuff, like you said, it happens
right in the family.
right up
Yes.
under your
Yeah,
nose, and you don't you don't know until you know.
Right, right. And it was something as innocent as something that I wanted her to see that I designed. It was a mug. It was just very innocent. But that child, it did not set right with him, and I'm glad that it didn't.
Yeah.
I love that conversation took place. That let me know
Absolutely.
that they're doing an amazing job as parents.
Now,
Yeah.
is DPS CD, are they the only ones that you've encountered as a school district?
No, I've worked in, and I'm no longer doing that type of work. I'm doing some other work with the district, but I'm no longer doing the human trafficking work. But if a school calls me, you know, but I've worked in Pontiac. I've worked in some Westwood School District. I've worked
Okay,
in
so-
a few others. Yeah, definitely.
Which is great.
Yeah.
You know, I was just thinking, you know, how we have to spread the word.
In summer camps, and because summertime, kids are at malls, and they're at home all day on the phone. Christmas break is another high peak time where traffickers and predators will try to have access to children. So
Yeah,
those are the
that's-
times, summer camps and Christmas time. Those are very important high peak times where people are reaching out to children. And you know about Roblox, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely know about Roblox. As parents, we have to make sure that we're giving our children that education on the to-dos and not to-dos. And if you don't know, you could definitely Google.
Yes.
But you want to link up with someone like Stacy J because she has the information, and the information is in plays. You can see her plays. Now, when's the next play?
So this in 2026, I am producing for some other people. So that's I love producing.
So
for
you
other
have some
people.
things
Helping
coming
them
up.
make their dream come true. Yes. So I think I've got about three or four projects to produce. But I'm working on a movie now for myself.
Oh,
a
look at
script and
that.
we're dealing with fentanyl. And so
Okay.
that's another,
Which is a high.
it
That is
It
something
is
that there's a lot of training going on for that.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of, and I'm in the research phase. So even though I'm writing, I still have to be in the research phase because you want to be authentic with the script. You want to entertain and reach people and be impactful, but you also want to be authentic. You don't want to be too crazy.
All
with
right
the
now,
storyline.
Stacey, I don't want
So-
you getting all in, getting into character.
No, but yeah, because when we write, it's in our head, so we have to. It's important to have the right things in our head, the training, so we'll know how to make sure that story goes out.
Go
and
along with it.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people who do that. They always talk about how they have to get into character
Yeah.
and try some things out, and to get that authentic. To make it all
Not that in
authentic.
character. Yeah, not that in character, but try to. I spend a lot of time sometimes just by myself doing a lot of thinking and a lot of researching and a lot goes into writing a script. You have to kind of almost be secluded. In a way, the best time, right when no one's in the home or in the middle of the night, which can be difficult if you have to get up and be somewhere on time. So, I do. The best times for me to write are in the midnight. Sometimes 3, 4 in the morning, I can go in and write and get a lot done.
So to know that you've been successful, with your plays, is there a dream? I know you got the movie that's coming, that's based
I'm
off
writing
of
the script. Yep.
fentanyl. Are there some really big dreams that you have for yourself?
Of course, that would be to tour, to do tours with plays. I still love live theater. I studied theater quite a bit in high school, and it's different when you watch versus a movie, because in the theater, from beginning to end, you can hear the oohs, the ahs. You can see people on the edge of their seats. They should not be sleeping in any of my plays. They should not be on the phone in any of my plays. They should be fully engaged. And so I need to write it in a way, because and we talk about that in our, so iron sharpens iron. I'm always with writers. Not always, but quite often when I have a script, we do table reads, and we sit down and iron sharpens iron, and we humble ourselves and say, okay, what do I need to do? How do I need to tighten this up? It's a very humiliating craft.
Well, I want to say that I've seen your plays, and I remember going to Robershaw, sing your play. But I will tell you that experience where it was on the big screen, where we went to the movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
And went to the movie theater.
Imagine.
It did. It was a different feel.
Yeah, it was.
It was a different setting. The place was packed.
Yes.
People were excited because, we know you. But to see the excitement on the people's faces that had never come out, before to see your work, I think it was very well received.
Thank you.
It was a great play.
Yeah, thank you.
And I can't wait to see you on the big screen with what you have next.
I know there's a lot more. I know that now I can move about the cabin a lot more freely because the kids have graduated.
Older,
But the dream definitely is to go on a tours with the plays, and also to get the from the computer to the paper to the screen, the movie that I'm working on fentanyl. It's a powerful movie, very powerful movie. And I'm so glad I've got, I thank God for pastors. I thank God for pastors, God. And I thank God for how he uses them to pour into our lives. And my pastor, I'm truly blessed. I've known him for some years, but how he pours in it. And I give him a monthly report. And he knows about the script that I'm writing. And every month, what are you doing? Are you taking care of that? And are you, he knows the calling that God has on my life. So he's constantly reminding me of, not reminding me, but just this, make sure you take care of God's business.
So let's give him a shout out. Who's your pastor?
Dr. Henry Wells of New Beginnings Fellowship Church. We're on 14400 Puritan in Detroit. Yeah.
All right, good job, Dr. Wells. Good job. Now, is there anything that you can encourage, maybe encourage parents, encourage people that's watching, how they could help their child be more aware?
Right. Just ask questions, talk to children, make sure for younger elementary, middle school age to check with your internet provider. Let's say your internet provider is, let's say, Xfinity. Check with them and make sure, because you can block certain things. You can block and monitor. So they have some things in place, and reach out to
even
your
in
internet
2025,
provider.
you can call your internet provider
Yes.
and have some of those sites blocked.
Harmful sites where children may want to harm themselves, because we have to deal with mental health now quite a bit, and not only where they may want to hurt themselves, but hurt others. So certain things that they could search for, the dark web. So all of those things can be put in place so that children cannot go on those platforms. And there are apps also where parents can monitor, so through Apple and Android. So there are certain apps out there that parents can download. They can just research the best apps. I think there's Bark. I know BARK. You may have to pay for that. I'm not sure, but there's so many tools out there to help you to keep your children safe. And
That's
then if you
good.
ever have any questions, parents can always call me at 313-858-3067. 313-858-3067. They can always call me if they want to talk about online safety or trafficking or have those kind of discussions.
very good information.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And then, as far as your plays, how can they see the plays that you've already, had out there?
Right. I know A Dream Deferred is out and ready to go. And they can just call me, 313-858-3067, and I'll bring that play to whatever event that they're having. They can use it as a fundraiser as well. And
Okay,
have
so
a
they
panel
can-
discussion afterwards. And
Someone can call you and say,
Yes.
hey, I want to see that play at
Yes.
my church, or I want to see it at my auditorium at my high school.
Yes.
So they can just call.
Or classroom.
Or class. Oh, classroom?
Yeah, we can set it up on the whiteboard. Yes, classroom. We've showed it in classrooms and large assembly settings at churches.
Now, are you doing that for a fee?
Yeah,
For a fee.
it is nothing astronomical. Yeah.
Okay, so they just need to give you a call.
Just give me a call. Yep.
Wow, that's good. So my prayer is that you will be able to get all around and
Yes.
get that stuff
Yeah.
out there in the community,
Yeah,
doing
we
that
go,
good
we go
work.
all over. We go all over. Churches, community organizations, all over.
That is
Sound the
wonderful.
alarm. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
thank you.
coming by here today.
I have something for you. Do I have time
Okay.
to present it to you?
Well, we'll get that presented. Today is not about me, Stacy. It's all about
I have
you.
something.
It's all about you.
Oh.
And it's all about our audience today. We thank you so much for stopping by on this Tuesday. I will see you next year. Remember, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Chats and Chuckles. Thank you so much. Kimberly Clemens signing off.
Thank you for having me.
Ooh.